Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL Don't Panic. Recent little milestone today with the channel. Only a little milestone. 150 subscribers. So when I started this channel back in July last year, just before the season started, it was very much really just about just almost like a way of just recording my progress through the season. In my first season, sort of, just trying to stay focused and using a little methodology that I'd sort of developed in the second half of the previous season that seemed to get a reasonably good result most weeks. So I wasn't really looking majorly for subscribers. It was going to be nice to have a few, so I wasn't talking to myself all the time. So to reach 150 is really lovely. Yeah, just really appreciate it. So as a lot of you know that, however, my channel is very self-indulgent. It's very much focused on my own team and what I'm doing. However, just before Christmas, when I came back from Ireland back to New Zealand, and I took up just a little bit of a gym personal training sort of thing. To try and work off the Guinness and the Irish fry-ups, and the personal trainer, the guy that I engaged, turned out he was a big FPL fan as well, and he was on exactly the same point as me. I mentioned it in a video some time back. I was like, that's ridiculous, a ridiculous coincidence. And he's been actually going really well, obviously with my consultancy, of course. And we were on the exact same point, but because he's had a few more chips than me, because I blew all mine, as you all know. He's gone really well. He's in the sort of top 40k now, so he's been going really well. But he's run into the same problem as everyone else has this game week 29. Getting a decent team out with these blanks and the injuries and the general chaos. And so I said, I said I'd have a look at it for him. And I said, I'll just put some free hit options together and just see what it looks like in my number cruncher. And I thought, well, I don't normally do sort of free hit videos or wildcard videos. There's 10 million other content providers doing that, so it'd just be more of the same and telling you the same stuff. But I thought, oh, you know what? It'd be just interesting to actually put a free hit team together and just run it through my number cruncher and see how accurate it comes out the other end. So, and I thought, yeah, just put it out there, and if you guys can get something useful from it, because I know a lot of us have been struggling this week to work out, who do we bring in, do we free hit, do we not free hit, etc. I really don't think it's a good idea to free hit unless your team is in the absolute fucking shit. Mine was, thus I made my decision a game week ago to do the wild card with the last chip I had left, and at least try and set things up for the next few game weeks and try and play through the 33 and 34 double and blank, and try and work my way through that. So it didn't come out too badly last week, and the interesting thing was I predicted 64 points and I got 66 points. So once again, I don't know why this bloody spreadsheet works, but it comes out quite accurate. So I thought, just a little experiment. Let's do a free hit team. May have some use for you. So I've got a free hit team in there, and then some options. And I've run it through the number cruncher, come out with a prediction, and I've got my session with Jason in the morning to try and work up a few more ounces, and we'll just want to have a chat about whether it'd be a good idea for him to free hit or not, based on the state of his team. Looking at it, looks like he probably needs at least 2 hits to be anywhere close to sort of an optimized team going out. And considering, I think there is some upside. I think if you're getting over the 2-2-2, if you happen to take 2 hits to get a team out, I think it sort of starts moving into that territory that maybe, especially if you are in a position that you still have your wild card, and you're in a position where you can build up some transfers, or you've already got some transfers in hand that maybe a bit, and you can build up. I don't know. And build towards a good team. Obviously for the Crystal Palace Newcastle double, so you can have some decent coverage in there and still have 4 or 5 transfers then when you actually hit that 33, 34 trauma that we're all going to face in a few weeks' time. Anyway, enough of that. Let's have a look at this team. It was challenging. I've been generally my own team, generally able to show a team, with a tweak, bringing in players, transferring out players, a team that generally sort of shows me that sort of 70 point average most weeks. And since game week 9, I've been averaging 73 points, which is really good. It was the disaster, which we've spoken many times about, that happened before that. That sort of kept me down that sort of 200 to 200k rank. So really, by and large, the spreadsheet kind of works. It's very simple, very, very simple. There's no rocket science to it. I actually did used to work for an data analytics company, and they were probably frowned very, very much. She's the pen I wave around. It's, their logo's on there. But I worked with them for 12 years. So, I worked with analysts for about 12 years. They probably would say it's not really an ideal methodology, Des, but I don't know. It seems to work and come up with a reasonably accurate result. Let me just get myself up in the corner here, and we'll have a look at it. And I've got some other options in here because it won't work for everyone. It obviously is budget sort of dependent, but I think I've got some good options in here for people to have a look at. So I'm not even suggesting that you necessarily do this. But for those of you lovely subscribers that have been supporting me for months now, and giving me some good advice and pulling me off of one or two cliffs, I have to say. If there's something useful in here for you, I really hope so, because I really do appreciate the support you guys have given me. So let's start from the top. So I've gone with because it's fixture based, this one. The other option there would be to put in Cells, who's actually got a slightly higher average, but if you go with Cells, maybe that might limit some of your options if you did say want to have 3 Forest. So if you did want to, if you have, as I have in this one, Milenkovic, Wood, and Gibbs White, and Saz averages are good. But if you're just going with 2 Forest, then I probably would go with Sa. And the other option is to put in there as well is Rhea, whose numbers are good as well. But obviously he's expensive, so that may depend on budget. But if you look at the keeper options, oops, guys, we'll be jumping around the spreadsheet. Let's get rid of this thing here. Cells is a good option with an average of 5, and Raya and another good option. And he's kind of based on Arsenal's pattern at the moment of clean sheet, no clean sheet, clean sheet, no clean sheet. They're actually due a clean sheet, so probably might not be a bad time to get on to onto Raya if the budget allows it. But I'm pretty comfortable with Sa as a pick. Averages are good. If you're hitting a 4-point average off your keeper, he's got some reasonable returns, and as I say, it's very much fixture driven. It's not a bad option, but there's, as I say, another couple of options there with a similar sort of average, so it's not going to change things too much. Milenkovic, he's just been really, really consistent now, and Forrest, as I say, of course, getting back to that nice consistency, and the average is 6. You can look at an Iena or another. I just think Milenkovic has maybe just got a little bit more attacking threat. To pick your poison on that one. We'll have a look through the options when I get to the bottom, but yeah, you could have a look at some other options there as well. But Milenkovic, that's a great average for a defender. So if you got a fancy Forest for that clean sheet against Ipswich, haven't you? So really good choice. Gavardiol would probably be the one. Now everyone's going to have, well, anyone that's free hitting is going to have Gavardiol in their team. Now I can actually get my averages up a little bit more by taking Gavardiol out, but I do think we want to have 1 or 2 players in here that come in with that 10 plus haul. And Gavardiol is absolutely one of those. And Brighton at home, it's not a bad fixture. City have improved defensively, so I do think there's a better chance here. So if we could get rid of this duck egg here and put in a better number, these averages have come up quite a bit. They only conceded that 1 goal away to Forest, and it was a very good goal. That could have easily been a 0-0 game. In fact, that's where I thought it was going. I honestly thought that game was going to end 0-0. I think that's worth a little bit of the punt on Gavardiol, to be honest with you, because I do think there's a decent clean sheet chance there, and I do think he seems to get a goal chance every match, and so he is one of those players that you could suddenly find yourself on a 15-pointer. I think it's worth that little punt on that one. You've got two really good routes to points there. Um, Timber, for Timber, that could be Gavardia, could be Gabriel. So it was a budgetary decision, and Timber's looking not too bad. And as I say, Arsenal are on that no clean sheet, clean sheet, no clean sheet, clean sheet. So based on that, they're due a clean sheet. He did get an assist last week. I think he is more likely. I think sometimes when I watch the Arsenal matches, when when Saka's in the team, no question about it. You go Gabriel every time. But without those pacey corners that Saka whips in, the goal threat for Gabriel has diminished greatly. So you might as well save your money, get your clean sheet. You never know. Timber might just stick one into the box on one of his runs up the right. And you might just get lucky with something there. But I think Chelsea home. Chelsea are a bit toothless. I think there's a decent chance of a clean sheet there. And 4 points for a defender is not, believe it or not, it's not actually a bad average. And the fixture is a good one. Bruno. Bruno's back to doing his 10 point per average thing. I said, I know it's only 6.4, but once he starts going, he gets on these runs. He did it earlier in the season. I spoke about it earlier in the season. A lot of you guys I know picked him up, and he just went on this like 6, 7, 8 game run. It was like 10 point, 10 point, 10 point. Then things fell off the cliff for United for a bit, got rid of him. But it looks like he's back on that sort of little 10 point run where he's got so many routes to points. It's a great fixture against Leicester. You've got to think even United are going to get a goal or two there. If United get a goal or two, there's only one person going to be involved or scoring them. It's Bruno. Son, probably a controversial pick, but his numbers are not bad. He's returned in 3 and 5. It was hard to actually find anyone much better than Son. And Son does have that mega haul potential. He will be on penalties. It's not the greatest fixture against Fulham, but I've learned with Spurs at the moment you can't rely on the fixtures to judge what they're going to do. I know we got this form fixtures things. We all try to obviously balance form versus fixtures, but he's looking a lot better. He's looking a lot better. Don't go with him if you don't think so, but I think if I was free hitting, I think I'd be putting Son in. I really do. Really, really do. He's starting. I don't think he's ever going to be the Son of old, but he's starting to look better and cutting in a bit more, creating chances. The big thing would be the minutes risk. I think it would be the minutes risk. But I'm banking him to start this one. I think he's coming into 4, and I think their Spurs team needs him there. And obviously there's still a few injuries with Spurs, so I think he will start. Clyburt's numbers are probably when I put them in, I was a little bit surprised that they were um, as low as they were, 4.8. But I still think he's the pick of the bunch out of that midfield for Bournemouth. I love watching them play. I suppose you could put Semenyo in there, but Semenyo's very, very frustrating with the way he misses. Kluivert is a class finisher. He should have mega hauled in his last match. It's a good fixture at home to Brentford. We know Brentford can end up conceding 2, 3, or 4 goals in a game. I'd be going with him. He's going to be in everyone's team as well. So in a way, you kind of have to cover yourself. I think almost everyone's going to have Kluivert. Certainly all the free hitters were, and he's obviously been bought in by a huge amount of FPL managers this week. So I definitely have him. He's in my team. I'm glad he is. Bowen. This is another slightly controversial one, I suspect, but it's a hell of a differential. And Bowen's averages are really, really good. And if West Ham score, he's going to get a goal. And I think they will score against Everton. And it's hard, actually, because we've obviously taken out the Salahs and a few other sort of key players. It's actually hard to find midfielders hitting that 6 point average. So this is another form v fixture pick here, because you could, of course, throw in a Bournemouth midfielder or a Nottingham Forest midfielder and absolutely go for that. And I'll show you some of the options below. I just want to back in Bowen. I think Everton are conceding now. They haven't kept a clean sheet for a while, and Bowen should have scored at the weekend as well. I think. I fancy for a goal, and his averages are there, and he's returned. One of the things with the spreadsheet, I do like to see 3 returns in 5 as much as I can. So he's seeing that sort of regulars, So then when it all goes into the mix, you can be reasonably sure that 5 or 6 of your players are going to return when you sort of put it into the number cruncher. And 3 returns in 5, average of 6. Everton conceding starting to concede now. They haven't kept a clean sheet for a wee bit. Pickford owners are starting to get frustrated out there, which is why he wasn't a consideration. He'll go and keep a clean sheet now, won't he? Of course, Pickford will. Of course he will. But 10-2, 10-6-2, nice average of 6. I think it's a good punt, and he's a really good differential. Really good differential. Just his 2 points, just when it came in initially, and that's all I got from it. For a while, that actually gave me a big jump up the on the live rank until that Isak came in with his 2 and cancelled it out and put me exactly back where I was. Yeah, I think he's a good differential, and he is actually in my team for this game week. So I'm obviously keeping my own fingers crossed. Gibbs White, yeah, it'd be a pretty decent choice. A lot of numbers wrapped up in that 16 pointer though. But even if you sort of brought that down to a 7 or 8, as an average, it'll still stack up pretty well. And that I'll show you. There is another option there. Of course, there's a few options, but Ipswich away. Forest are not going to score loads of goals. Where are they? They've done it once or twice, haven't they? But it's not a regular occurrence. Thus, the reluctance from my own part probably to double up on a Nottingham Forest midfield. But I think it's definitely worth having one in there. It's picking the right one, that is FPL, isn't it? But yeah, 6.8 average is pretty good. It's shown he's got that little haul potential as well. 16 pointer would be pretty nice. Ipswich, yeah. And of course, the man himself, Haaland, 14.7. But because we're free hitting, and quite clearly the bigger mission there is Palmer, because his average is about 1 for the last 5 game weeks, 1 or 2. Yeah. So Haaland's in there. He has returned in 4 of his last 5. 6.6 average. He's got Brighton at home. You've got to have him, and I think you have to probably captain. That's what I'm doing, anyways. So what does that mean? Right. I haven't done. You can decide on your own bench. I'll take you through, and you could maybe even use an 80.9 budget. So you've got 19 million there to decide who you want to put on your bench. I'll let you decide that yourselves. Don't even say do this free hit. This is just maybe hopefully it gives you some guidance. Be very, very interested to see if it works out. But we've got a high ceiling there of 82. Remember, these numbers are without captaincy. So in my prediction, in all things in this, I leave out the captaincy for the fudge factor of anything that can happen will happen. It's the most ludicrous way of doing a prediction ever, but it just seems to come out almost, because something always happens, and it just seems to come out reasonably accurate to my number most weeks. However, supposing all does go well, 82 with a captain's haul on top would be pretty nice. But it does, however, have a low floor of 46. So the average for this team comes out at 60.8, but the median is 64. So that would be my prediction for this team, 64. And we will revisit this because I'm very curious myself, because I've been obviously largely just working up my own team. Now, the only thing I would say with this is averages are averages. Now, when I do my own stuff, I'm obviously projecting 5 fixtures out and trying to make sure I hit that average over a 5-game week period. But these are pretty good fixtures. So I'd be hopeful. 64 in what's expected to be a low-scoring game week, with because we haven't got a Salah Hall in there to bump up all of our numbers. 64, particularly if we did get some captaincy numbers on that. If say Haaland does come in with a 12 or something like that, wouldn't be too bad, would it? It wouldn't be too bad. I don't think any of us has sniffed it. Let's have a look at the let's have a look at some of the options here. Just some of the alternate options, and there's plenty more that I could have added in here. I could be going at this all day, but it's just to give you guys some food for thought. And I'll have a chat with Jason in the morning, and we can work out whether he should free hit or whether he should take a few hits to get a team out. Right. Mention Cells. It's not a bad option at all. And if you can fit him in, it is probably where I would go, but it didn't fit into the free hit. The free hit for me, because of obviously already having 3 Forest players in it. But if you've only got 2 Forest players, if you are free hitting, I'd absolutely go Cells. Cells would be my choice, I think. And then Ray at 4.2. And again, although his averages is a little bit lower, Chelsea, toothless. Yeah, but they just keep finding a way to concede, though, don't they? They defend well, but they just concede daft goals. But based, as I said, based on their concede, clean sheet, concede, clean sheet, concede, clean sheet pattern that they've got going at the moment, they're due a clean sheet. So why not? Give it a go. Aina, yeah, I mean his averages are okayish. If you're getting 4 to 5 points average out of a defender, but I think I'd stick with Milenkovic. Marilla's not bad. Another option there, cheap option at 4. His averages are actually a little bit higher than Aina's. And if you fancy a little punt, one Basaka, you're either going to get nothing or you're going to get a lot. He's had a few little hauls this year. He wasn't doing this at United, getting up that wing and getting goals. Um, could be a differential punt. I wouldn't be going there if I was free hitting, or even if I was just had a transfer to make. I wouldn't be going there. But those the more brave-hearted amongst you, by all means go for it because it could just easily pay off. Look at a couple of midfielders there. Hudson-Odoi, I like Hudson-Odoi actually, and he's shown a little bit of consistency there with 3 returns in 5, a nice 5.8 average, a nice 5.2 price, a nice fixture against Ipswich. I don't hate the idea. For me, I would be going one or the other, Gibbs White or Hudson-Odoi, and it really is a toying cost. I personally wouldn't be going both, but I don't hate the idea of going both either. It's Ipswich away. Ipswich have got to come out to play. They have to get wins now. You know what? I don't hate the idea of a double up at all. Ipswich have got to come out to play. They've got to get a win. And particularly if Forest did get an early one, Woodstock won in early, and they come out to play, could be goal fest time. Could be goal fest time. Who else we got there? Mbeumo. Okay, so is it controversial to leave Mbeumo out? Mbeumo. I never know how to pronounce that. Someone tell me. Mbeumo. 8.1. He has an average of 5.2. I don't think any of us have been particularly happy with Mbeumo lately. That I've got him in my team. Got him going out this game week. What you've got with Mbeumo is that haul potential, and he is on penalties. Average of 5.2 isn't bad, but he has only returned in a couple of his last 5. Yeah, don't know. Have a think about that one. I mean, a lot of you already have him, so this is really for the free hitters. As I say, it certainly is not a player I'd be transferring out to bring someone in this game week. So it's just for the free hitters. Don't hate it. It's Mbeumo. He's just such a good fucking player. He's on penalties. He could get a 15-pointer as easily as he gets a 2. So yeah, it's getting that balance right across the team. Those whole capable players and those steady eddies that are just going to make sure that you get the 4s and the 5s out of them, and then just hopefully then you come in with a couple of the hauls. Whether it's from an Mbeumo or someone else, or a Haaland, obviously, that then gets you up into that sort of 70-point region. Few other little options for you. Beto's ticking along. 88622 as they've fallen off. Has his little run of purple patch come to an end? Don't hate it though. If you wanted to go with a 3-4-3, I think the 3-5-2 is the way to go this week. But 3-4-3 Beto. João Pedro. Those numbers are good, but I wouldn't personally be putting him in a month of Sundays against Manchester City away. He's going to go and get a brace, isn't he? Yeah, and Raul, yeah, just a nice little cheeky one there with Spurs at home. Spurs dodgy defence. He has returned in 3 of his last 5. The average is just 4.8 though, so there's no sort of holes in there. But you could easily fancy him for a goal. Is there a minute's risk there with Munoz? I don't think so. I think Raul would start. So little cheeky pump there on Raul as a potential differential. And that's it, folks. That is the FPL Don't Panic free hit draft with some options for you. Don't necessarily advise doing it, but if you are free hitting, maybe there's some useful information in there for you. Even if you're not free hitting, maybe, and you're just, you've got, as I say, you've got injuries, as the same as I had, obviously. um, and you've got players blanking, it might just give you give you some pointers, maybe some players you might be interested in taking a look at and bringing in for this game week, because it's going to be a really interesting one. There's going to be a lot of hits taken. I think people that were not going to free hit are suddenly taking a look at their teams and gone, it's a mess. Yeah, free hit. We'll see where it all lands. It's going to be very, very interesting. In the meantime, as I say, hit the 150 subscribers today. I very rarely put a message out, oh, please hit like, please hit subscribe, etc. So just the fact that you guys are tuning into me and listening, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. I shall be back. I think I've finalised my team. I think I have decided, that my wildcard mistake, I'm just going to roll with it and keep Nkunku in. Not 100% decided on that. That's what it looks at the connotations. And who knows? Nkunku won't come off his arse. And in the Arsenal's goal, who knows? We live in hope. Take care, have fun, play your own game. Don't panic. Talk soon. Bye bye.